Why, hello there, friends. How's everybody doing? Good to see you, Mary, Ashi, Edward, Steve. Awesome to have you here. Vinyl, big thank you to Terry. It's a big day for us. We have lots of new releases. I'm going to get right into it because I only have 30 minutes. Then Jason's going to be up. He's going to do some what's new in video and audio. And then we're going to get into UX UI with Howard. It's a fun day, honestly. Yeah, it's like new toys. So just check this out. First off, you might have to restart, but go ahead and make sure you restart and then go to your Creative Cloud app, go to Updates, and you'll see all your updates for your various apps, right? So it's a simple thing. Just do a restart in case it doesn't show up. And you'll see these lovely apps. I will be highlighting a couple, a little bit of Photoshop, a little bit of InDesign, a little bit of Illustrator, maybe some other things connected to those things, actually. But good to have you here. And guess what? Of course, your dock right down here is going to update as well. You might have to replace those icons. Everything's nice and fancy down there. We're good to go. Brett Vander, what's up? Good to have you here. So let's go ahead and open up Photoshop. So Terry did this earlier. I think this is really cool. I want to show you a couple quick little things in here because I just think as a designer, this is really huge. Being like most of my time in Photoshop is spent cutting out people. Right? And all you really need to do is go to select subject, right? And it will cut them out. Okay, Terry did that earlier. But what it does is it actually recognizes people. So it recognizes this as a person with hair, with those hard edges. So all I have to do is click. It's nothing new that you have to check or anything like that. It does it automatically. It actually branches out. If you're curious, if you hold down the shift key, it'll work the old way, like it doesn't recognize it as a person. But otherwise you just click it. Here's one thing, and actually let me just show you this. Here's the lovely mask, by the way. So there it is. But let me show you this. Let me delete that mask because this also works everywhere select subject is being used. So you can go to remove background, and that's all you need to do. Remove background, hands-free mode. Right, there it is, done, right? Look at this. I'm pausing for effect, but I don't think I would do that good of a job at selecting her hair, just to be honest, because I picked a pretty complex situation, okay? Because what I wanted to do is just drop in some text. So really fast, Tim, you guys, this is another thing that happens under the hood, quite frankly. There's Adobe font auto activation that happens. So if I send you this PSD, in fact, if I send you the cloud document, quite frankly, it will automatically sync this eloquent font as it's known. So that's what happens. You're not going to get, it's just something that happens behind the scenes, which is really nice. So Adobe font auto activation, which is pretty awesome. Also, this happens in InDesign, and it's something I can't really show you because it all happens behind the scenes. But let's put that back there. Let's put that like kind of, I do a lot of this layering stuff, kind of putting that text behind her head, right? I can change the color to make it look a little bit different, right? But really what I want to do is I want to put a pattern back there really fast. Okay, so I can pick any number of these patterns right here. And if you wanted, say, this pattern right here to be at an angle, so I want it to just be a little bit more interesting, at least vertically, you actually didn't have a way to do that. You actually had to do a workaround. So what I would typically do is like, you know, create a brand new pattern. I'd have to rasterize this layer. That's what I would do. I'd rotate it, right, 90 degrees. Right? I'd have to make a pattern at different angles if that's what I'd want in this case, right? When what we have now for these lovely patterns for this text, just go ahead and edit that pattern. You'll notice everywhere that pattern is, you're gonna have the ability to adjust the angle, okay? Hopefully that works for you. What's up, Paul Naughton in the house? Good to see you. Let's adjust the angle. As you can see, yeah, I'm not kidding. It actually does what it says it's going to do. Pretty straightforward. And it's nice that I have this sort of flexibility. This has been like kind of a big deal for me, to be honest with you, because I like how easy it is to work just like that. And this works for anything. So if I just kind of jump in here and let's just check everything, we're good. Say for instance, this part down here with all this gorgeousness, right? Doesn't matter, could drop a different pattern down there or the same one. and anywhere you have that pattern, you can go ahead and rotate it, right? So this is a pattern fill on a shape layer. I'm changing the angle to 90 degrees, just to kind of go with those buildings is the idea. All right, Mary. Hello, everybody. Good to see ya. Another thing, and Terry touched upon this as well, but like Camera Raw has been updated, so I'm not a photographer. Terry's the photographer. I'm just glad it's updated, because how it was like this. This is the old version. I want to point out that like all the tools were disjointed from what they affected, by the way. Okay, so if you go in and you just do a targeted adjustment, right, with this button right here, it actually affects curves. And keep in mind, I'm inside of Camera Raw. You're gonna open it up and you're gonna look and see that like a lot of the tools are gone, and they're not gone at all. They're just actually in a different location. So I'm gonna hurry up because I wanna get into Illustrator and InDesign, but just as I jump in here really fast, just to kind of open up one photo, maybe 3 or 4, right? In Photoshop really fast. You'll see Camera Raw. I personally use it because it's like it's the one place that has the easy button, by the way, which is right over here. We can see this auto button right here. That's typically what I'll click on to make this look better, right? Auto, just do that. And like I said, again, white balance is right next to what it affects. So if you want to sample the white balance, it's right next to the temperature and tint, right? You can see it, control and change, yada, yada, yada. I can go into more. I won't, I'll stop. But yeah, I'm 7 minutes in. Everybody's pressed for time because we have too much to cover. By the way, did you know there were shortcut keys for opening as object and opening as copy in the old version? Right? We hid it because it was hidden behind shortcut keys that you had to know, right? But now we expose that. Now you can just open this as object or open it as a copy, which is awfully nice, as you can see right there. I can go on and on, but I just like how cleaned up it is, quite frankly, in this situation and all situations. So I'll just click cancel, and let's get out of that. Let's move on. Let's move on to other things. Let's jump into actually Illustrator. Let's do it, shall we? All right, Illustrator. I'm gonna open up one of these files. Let's open up this one. This is something I've kind of been working on. It's an evolution. It's a long process. I need to tighten up all these vectors. Just this whole thing on Unity, right? Happens to just be an Illustrator file, right? But what's available in Illustrator is Cloud documents. So I can save this file as a Cloud document right here. Save as a Cloud document, and then I can share it with whoever I want. So just like with the PSD, let me show you. It's actually even better. Let's give it a name. Let's click save. Right there it is. Let's take a look right up here. Zoop. Here's like a new file name, AIC. It's a cloud-based file, right? And the cool thing about this, by the way, I'm gonna go into preferences. I'm gonna go into right down if I choose that, right? So it's automatically saving in the background at the interval that I want, right? But that's what's happening now. I can go in, I can change this, and actually, you know, with it actually saved, I can go out to, you ready for this? Assets.adobe.com Cloud Documents, right? There it is. Here's my Unity new Paul. It's the one I just saved. We'll wait for that thumbnail to update. But you can see, like with this one, I can come in, I can get a link for it, just like so. Load in that link. We can take a preview of it. We can allow comments right here. We'll copy this, right? You get how this works, but this is an Illustrator file, which is nice. So I can take that, I can paste it into chat just for fun, right? And this is just the beginning, by the way. Illustrator for iPad is coming soon, hopefully. We're working on it still, you know? It's like, yeah, it's like a long story. But feel free to comment, be like, oh, tell me what color I should make these hands. I have issues with this. Like, how, you know, what's this evolution gonna look like? Am I gonna put a burst back there? Am I gonna put words that say Unity? That whole idea. But the cool thing is, as I change this, I'll save this file. It's gonna update out here. Keep in mind, it's still this first file. This file will update, right? And I can send it to others. So that's Cloud Documents in Illustrator. The reason this is huge, and I'm glad you brought that up as well, because this comes in handy when it comes to Illustrator for iPad. We want to be able to continue to work on this on the iPad or vice versa. So that's the idea. Cool. You can share this, but you have to have the Adobe programs to share, correct? No, incorrect. They don't need the Adobe programs to, when you're sharing this link, just like the link that I pasted in there, anybody can view this, right? Anybody can comment this. If you give them the ability to like download it or something, yeah, they're gonna need Illustrator. But I just appreciate, what? Oh, you're so kind. It needs more Comic Sans. Okay, fine. So fun. Good times. Awesome. Anybody can look at this on their mobile device, whatever. That's Illustrator. There's actually more in here, by the way. We finally have a large canvas size. I can make this, I thought small. I was like, oh, let's print this out. It'll be a sticker, right? What if I take this and I make it massive? So let me unlock a lot of this stuff, right? In here. In fact, let's scale this up really huge. In fact, let's scale this up. Let me try this. The width and the height right up here. Guess what? I can take this and we have a canvas size of 2,270 inches. So that's almost 200 feet. This is a huge request. So inches, right? 2,270 inches, 200 feet, because I want this on a big, huge mural, right? I should probably hit enter there, not tab. But anyways, large canvas size available in, I didn't lock it, is available in Illustrator now. And this has been a big request for a while now. And yeah, I need to change some of this, by the way, but you have that ability to scale it up that large, about 200 feet. So that's huge. This is just kind of shows that we've been listening to the community, and want you to know that, yeah, we're giving you the ability to print out something huge to get your message across of Unity, right? So that's the idea. Let's kind of move on from there. Oh, by the way, let me just jump back really fast, because as I change this, let's take a look right over here. Thank you for submitting comments. Right here's a timeline. So here's the 7:54 version. I can click back, and this is my 7:40 a.m. version. Again, I'm in Denver time, Mountain Time. So you can see the earlier version that I was working on, and we have this version history as well. So I can say this is so far the bright version, like that. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Let me shift gears. Let me jump into actually InDesign. Because InDesign, this is awesome, by the way, right? So I can take InDesign, and what can I do? Right up here, kind of like Cloud Documents, check this out. Share for review in InDesign. Share this as At Last Magazine, right? Let's create that link. That's what's happening for this file. I'll paste this in chat as well. Thanks for joining me over on YouTube. Jump over to Behance if you could. Invite only? I don't think so. Guess what? We can make this public. We can maybe only establish based on Adobe IDs. So if I have I'm working with another designer, I could just send it to their like Adobe ID, right? But in this case, I'm not gonna require a password. I'm just gonna make it public, right? I'll just update this link really fast since I changed permissions and paste it in there, right? This is the cool part, is as you add comments in here, by the way, let me click on it, copy it, paste it. Michelle loves InDesign. I like InDesign as well. I'm into it. Okay, there we go. Pasting it in. Hopefully it comes through in chat, but here it is. I can scroll down. You can see this actually has some issues like, hey, you know what? Boom, let's place a pin there. What's going on here, right? Here meaning right here, right? Because you can't really tell until you actually see that little pin like so. Same thing right here. What goes here? Right, you get the idea, right? Guess what? I can jump in and be like, what about these two? Question mark, right? Stuff that I just need to take care of. Tim's on top of it. Move the text and move this text and use papyrus. Oh man, and I'm glad he did that because that was on a different page. So I click on it right up there. You guys are adding those comments. Guess what? This happens in real time. I'll click back into InDesign. I'll go to this review panel. Guess what? 13 seconds ago, right? Festus commented. Fantastic. That's a game. Look at, they're coming in live in InDesign. I'm about to run around this whole office. I'm gonna lose my mind. But I've also had a lot of coffee. Isn't this nice? Now I can actually jump in like, oh, what was this rando talking about? What was this random guy? What is he saying? What, this? Okay, fine, we'll fix it. Jeez, some people, right? Content aware fit. That's what needed to happen there. And for these, by the way. Let's just do real fast. I'll make those changes. I gotta change that other text to papyrus via Tim. Oh, you're killing me, Tim. But you get the idea. Let's just go ahead and place something in there. You guys get the idea. It's all gonna update. It's gonna work as expected. I need to move on as well. Don't forget about Adobe Font Auto Activation in here. Let's just grab this one. Sure, why not? There's dolphins. They're kind of in there, right? Okay. Saving it right up here. Let's update this link. Updated 2 minutes ago. Let's go to our review panel. Right in here, I could be like, you know, make the obvious changes, right? You get the idea. And as soon as I refresh this, it'll kick into gear. So you guys get the idea. And I can resolve those, by the way. So it's like, okay, you hack. Who is this guy? Hey, fixed. As I bang on my keyboard, right? And then resolve. You guys get the idea. It's pretty cool. Easy to work with. Cool? Any questions? I've only had 2 coffees. The thing is, they're this size there, Howard. All right, so let's move on. Let's jump over. I wanted to show you this as well. Let me switch screens to my iPad if I could. Wait for it. Here we are on my iPad. And again, I think these are fun things that I can come in, and I think actually Terry might have shown this, but edit in Photoshop, right? Going from Lightroom to Photoshop. Also what's in here as well. There's excuse me, let me get it right. Adobe Fonts auto activation in here as well. Again, jump in here, opening up this Lightroom file, right? Doing some of these fun things like select subject, as I'm doing right now. And let's just make that a mask. Let's do some fun double exposure. Hey, why not? Right, but making those changes that only I can, that really you can only do in Photoshop, by the way. New adjustment layer, by the way, and you can see right over here, hopefully you can see that curves has been just added as well. Right in here, curves, we can just make this look maybe a little bit more dramatic, right? You get the idea, and I can switch to those different channels, send it back to Lightroom, you guys get the idea. So yes, Debbie, if you're not seeing all the updates, restart your machine, restart I usually restart Adobe Creative Cloud, by the way, and then go ahead and restart your desktop as well if you need to. But wow, I'm doing great on time. I'm so proud of myself. So look at this, expansion of canvas by 100%. One thing else I wanted to show you, check this out. Let's jump back into Illustrator as I continue to work on this. I could have gotten people's advice around it, saying, hey, you need to, you know, maybe make the hands bigger or whatever the case may be. Select these hands, scaling them up. Look what's happening, right? Look what's happening as I scale up these hands. It's doing a real-time render of that, because you know what you used to get, Steven? You used to just get the outline, okay? So we'll go into Illustrator Preferences. And you will notice in here, Performance. real-time drawing and editing. So as I distort, scale it up, scale it down, it's rendering it in real time in Illustrator. Oh, by the way, I can set my document size to 227 inches. Wow. Is that 200? It should be 220. I think. All right, so let's go File, New. Let me do this one more time. Let's go to Print. Let's actually come right over here and change this 2 inches. And right in here, I'm going to change this to the larger size. I should be able to actually change this 2270. That should be the largest size, width and height-wise, by the way. So this is that large document size. Right, click Create. Here it is. And let's just take a look. Yes. So here's that large document size that I was talking about. Check this out. Large canvas size, if you will. It's 100 times larger, 2,270 inches. So at this point, maybe that's when I'll take at least these hands to start with to make this huge mural. Look at the size it was before. It's so little, right? We could take that, scale it up, right? And make it larger for our huge mural of Unity that I would love to get done, especially here in Denver. There's lots of murals and stuff, and it's kind of like a thing after I work on the coloring of it. So again, just wanted to point that out. You want to go to File, New, and then set your document size that way. So hopefully that works. That's the only way you'll see the large canvas size, just so you know. What's up, Zoro? Welcome back. Banners will be so much easier. Again, top request out on the forums there. Let me think if I'm forgetting anything else. Oh, by the way, I get more time to spend on Illustrator later, by the way, because Thursday morning I'm going to be covering all the new features, and I'll probably show a little bit of Illustrator on the iPad as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind. By the way, it's when we do any distortion at all that it actually does that real-time rendering. Shear, reshape, maybe you just want to do a free transform, right? You get the idea. Cool, cool. Darius made it. Good to have you here, Darius. And from there, again, just do your save as for Creative Cloud, and everything will appear right in here. So let's just go back. Cloud Documents. We have my bare edits right over here, quite frankly. This one I'm working on, this one I'm working on. It's my PSDs, it's my Illustrator files. You guys get the idea. Version history, all that good stuff. Albrecht Dürer style. Ooh, wow, that's man, that's reaching in the recesses of my brain from art school, Dürer. So you guys get the idea. This isn't quite the large one, but I can always send out the large one. Okay, and we can always see which types are over here. We can go ahead and go into list view like so. And right in here, this might be easier way to tell. Disregard that huge file name, but you could see the PSDCs and the Illustrator files as well. Okay, cool. New features for InDesign. Yes, there is SVG support in InDesign, by the way. You can import SVGs. Open type variable fonts available in InDesign as well. And column rules and text frames. So you can add rules between columns. So when you resize a multi-column text box, they automatically scale to fit. So that works as well. Column rules in text frames. But yeah, share for reviews, the big one. And I'm checking my time. I have about 1 minute left. Okay, for the version history, will each one save manually or automatically? They do an automatic 5-minute save, right, is how this currently works. So as I work on this one, and I'll even do like a fun change. Let's go in here. Let's do some changes. There's that. Let's just do this really fast if I can only grab it. Let's lock down the hands. Let's take this. Expand appearance. Expand. Ungroup. Release compound path. doing too much. Let's try to do a script. Random swatches fill. There we go. Here's a new one, by the way. And by the way, as I click save, I didn't even have to hit save because, again, it's still in here for handling this file. It gets saved right in here. I'm sorry, I lost the... There we go, I was in the right place. File handling, I didn't see it. You can change that to be less time if you want, or more. You get the idea. Okay, it saves in the background as well. Okay. By the way, just because it's a cloud document doesn't mean that it's only available in the cloud. So if I ever get on a plane again, I can still access these files. So let's go to File, Open, Open Cloud Document. Right in here, this is the little button that says, hey, you know what? I'm not downloaded yet, right? So you want to make sure it's not online only if you're going to be on a plane, you know, like we used to do. Remember planes? So, but those two are all squared away. That's it. Thanks, everybody. I love you. Appreciate you. Stick around for Jason. He's awesome. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you soon.